from there, I just sort of went right into Amex as a full-time job. And I was getting paid, and like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, right? You know, you go to college, you get a good job, you get paid.
In 2010, Beth founded Beth Warren Nutrition, seeing clients in her basement. Over the last 10 years, she wrote 2 books, appeared on Fox and NBC, and has been featured in Women's Health, Glamour, Shape, and the New York Post. Today, Beth Warren Nutrition serves over 100 clients, with weekly meetings conducted across 3 locations. You loved junk.
I really loved all food. It's just I was brought up in a house where my dad and I bonded with chocolate cake and ring dings and devil dogs and that's also...
And you're a nutritionist.
Yeah. So when people growing up with me hear that I do nutrition, they're like, you used to like hang out in front of the vending machine asking for money to buy Dr. Pepper. Like, what is that about? And I said, it's actually because I love food, that I love working with food. And once I learned how food actually affects your health and could improve your life, and you could enjoy it, I wanted to share that knowledge with other people.
Growing up, not the healthiest eater. And
putting it mildly.
When do you start to realize that maybe you should eat healthier?
Right. Well, I was lucky enough to grow up in a home that it's not like I didn't know what a vegetable was. Like, we had a typical dinner of like macaroni with cheese and broccoli, steamed.
And ring-dings.
And ring-dings after or before, or throughout. So it's not like I didn't know what a vegetable was, but it was through college that I started getting into nutrition. I was getting married at the time, and I don't know, something just clicked in my head, like, oh, I guess we're supposed to sort of like lose weight before you get married. It's not that I felt like I had any body issues, but like I said, I wasn't really in shape. I exercised a lot. Exercise was always a big part of my life. It was even a way to bond with my dad in high school. I used to go with him to the gym. I would work out, I would go on the treadmill, I would study on the elliptical, just for fun. Then every time we would stop to get Slurpees on the way home. So again, I never associated like exercise with being restricted or food restricted. It was a really nice memory, a positive memory, and we would go get a Slurpee, and it was just very normal to me, and that was fun. So growing up and through college, I still did the exercise. Like, that kind of always stuck with me, being active, because I just liked how I felt, and it became so normal and routine. And when I felt like I had to lose weight when I was getting married, or just like kind of like pay attention to what I was eating, I'm getting married, I'm gonna start to having to cook meals, like what's going on. I read a book called The South Beach Diet, and the interesting thing about that, now I know better about what the diet was or wasn't, was that they took you through what happens once a food goes inside your mouth. And that was like mind-blowing for me. It was like, wait, something actually happens once you eat? Like, the process just starts once food hits your mouth? Like, what's that about? So when I learned the processes behind the food breaking down, affecting your blood sugar, and all these concepts, I'm like, whoa, there's like so much more to eating than just food. I went to Yeshiva University, Stern College. My senior year, there was a nutrition elective that I saw. I took it, and it was majorly science heavy, but I loved it. Like, I was shocked that I loved it. I always considered myself not good at math, like not good at science, and those are such limiting beliefs. You know, we should never say that. Like, I know now so much more even about psychology and everything I do, that watch yourself when you say things like, I'm not this, right, I'm not that. So in school, I actually started interning at American Express as a marketing position. Which was great because it was a paid internship, so that was fun. And even I was getting pressured from that job that they needed the internship to be associated with business. And from there, I just sort of went right into Amex as a full-time job, and I was getting paid, and like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, right? You know, you go to college, you get a good job, you get paid, right?
Great.
So I would go 9 to 5, and I would close the computer, and I would go home. I felt like I was sort of just living like a life outside my own. I was doing good work because I'm just a hard worker. I'll excel at whatever I do, but I was doing it for somebody else that like probably doesn't even care what I was doing. And that's great for so many people, but if I'm having this passion to help people, I'm like, who am I helping? I don't know. But then I got pregnant. And I had my first kid, and I just thought, I'm not gonna do this position forever, for sure not. Like, I'm commuting downtown, and I don't see this happening with my kind of life that I wanna lead. So I kind of like thought the nutrition again. Like, it kind of was always like kind of nicking at me in the back of my brain. And it really pushed me once I was having her. I said, let me just start by taking a course. Like, what's it gonna do? It could always just help me, because nutrition is something everyone needs to know about. And maybe I was fooling myself, telling myself that, but like, the joke's on me, because now I do what I do. But it's what I told myself to get started, because anytime I thought more than that, I got completely overwhelmed. And I still worked part-time at Amex, had a kid, and started doing courses. So I went to Brooklyn College and through kids, and then I sort of started weaning down the Amex job and weaning up, if that's even a word, or amping up my nutrition classes. I was able to work with kids with autism in an autism center. I was able to work at the cancer center, the Morris I. Franco Cancer Center with cancer clients. I was able to work in a hospital setting too, because you have to do clinical. And I worked in a senior home. So I worked in a lot of areas that allowed me to see what kind of nutrition I want to do. I heard a registered dietitian, her name's Carrie Gons, and she had a seminar about starting your own private practice. And one thing she said that resonated with me is that you really only need a private space, even if it's in your own apartment, that's just dedicated to seeing a client, like a professional spot, and go for it. So I remembered that, and in my little Brooklyn teeny, like, first-time house, I had a little alleyway in my basement, like not even a room, I would call it, just a separate entrance and next to the stairs. And I just sort of made this little folding out table, put 2 chairs. You know, I mean, it got me where I was today, and nobody ever complained, and people kept coming, obviously, so it all worked out.
Let's talk about the first client.
The first client, I call them clients, there's probably about like 5 that sort of came at the same time. It was mostly because of the insurances I accepted, so I started being listed. Google, I went to every medical referral website I could find. I just Googled things, Google nutritionists in the area, and would put myself on there. That's really all I did.
It's basically putting ads on all of these
but free.
websites.
I didn't really pay for anything, because there's so much access if you just research it or Google other things similar. So that's how I was able to get the first client. I also was one of the first practices to take insurance, which was a huge game changer in our nutrition world.
So because you were accepting insurance, people were coming to you.
Yeah.
Even though it was day one, you just started.
But they don't know that.
They have no idea.
Why would I say that?
Yeah.
I did get a lot, which I still get a lot of this, but people walk in like, I didn't realize you were so young. And I'm like, well, it's all right.
Yeah. They're like, how long you been doing
yeah,
this?
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway.
It doesn't matter. It blew up from there, from referrals to friends and things, but what also was really helpful and very meaningful to me and help validate my worth and my expertise was that they would go back to their doctors. The doctor's like, what the heck happened to you? It's like, I don't know, I saw Beth Warren, she helped me, like, oh my God, and then they got my number. So I have great relationships with a lot of doctors. That's another big referral source for me. From that, I was able to hire. I hired an assistant and I hired a biller. And now I have 3 other dietitians who work for me, and now I have multiple practice locations. My practice is called Beth Warren Nutrition. So we shortened it over the years like BWN. So we have BWN Flatbush, BWN Williamsburg. Then I opened just now in Deal.
How many clients do you have or could have at any given point?
We have like 100 clients, let's say, in a week.
So, and you ended up writing 2 books. Do you happen to have those books with you?
I do. So this is my first book, Living a Real Life with Real Food. And then the second book I wrote recently, it's called Secrets of a Kosher Girl. And this was actually a 21-day plan that say, here, you do this, here's your like quick fix that people ask for. I give all the recipes and meal plans on exactly what to do in 21 days. I worked with a PR company for the book, and I've been on TV, I've been on Fox, I've been on NBC. I've done a lot of like food demos on there. That got me into getting booked for cooking demos, food demos, workshops, speaking. At this point in my life, I'm getting branded partnerships for it, and I'm getting paid. So I'm suddenly broadening, first of all, my scope of work, like what I could do, what I could offer people, Also my ability to help more people at once, like, because it opens up your public. And it really tapped into my creative side and never lets my career be stagnant.
If you could tell your 22-year-old self something, what would you say?
Keep going. Like, just do it.
Like, is there something you know now that you wish you knew?
You are your own best cheerleader. Like, you need to cheer yourself on. Don't look for it from other people.